Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode where we dive deep into practical insights on how to better manage your life, both financially and personally, using the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Today, we're talking about some of the habits that might be keeping you stuck financially, and more importantly, how to break free from them. These habits often revolve around common misconceptions, like associating wealth with happiness or living to please others, and they can quietly sabotage both your financial well-being and your peace of mind. But with the guidance of Stoicism, we can shift our mindset, take control of our lives, and move toward greater financial and personal freedom. We'll be going over 10 key habits to stop if you want to achieve financial success and overall fulfillment. Each of these lessons comes with practical applications from Stoicism, teaching us to focus on what truly matters and let go of the things that don't. If you're ready to start making better decisions that bring you both financial freedom and peace of mind, stick around. And as always, if you find this episode helpful, be sure to like, share and subscribe for more content on self-improvement and Stoic wisdom. 1. Stop associating wealth with happiness. In today's world, many people mistakenly believe that money and material wealth are the keys to happiness. We see this belief everywhere, from social media influencers flaunting luxury lifestyles to advertisements telling us that buying more will make us happier. However, this mindset can lead us down a path of constant craving, stress, and dissatisfaction. Stoic philosophy offers a powerful counter to this idea, reminding us that true happiness comes from within and not from external wealth. One of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, Seneca, pointed out that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This quote speaks volumes about the real cause of unhappiness. It's not the lack of wealth, but the endless desire for more. When you're always seeking more money, a bigger house, a fancier car, you'll never feel satisfied. No matter how much you accumulate, there will always be something else to strive for. This endless cycle can create a sense of poverty, even if you're financially well off. Let's take a common example. Imagine you've worked hard to buy your dream car. For the first few weeks, you feel on top of the world. You love driving it, showing it off to friends, and feeling the excitement of owning something new. But as time passes, that initial thrill fades. Soon, the car becomes just another part of your daily routine, and you start to desire something even better. Perhaps a newer model or an upgrade in features. This is the trap of associating wealth with happiness. The more you have, the more you want, and true satisfaction remains just out of reach. The Stoics believed that instead of focusing on material wealth, we should focus on developing our inner virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. These are the things that lead to true fulfillment because they are within our control. Unlike money, which can come and go, virtues are lasting and help us navigate life's ups and downs with grace. By focusing on virtue, we shift our attention from what we lack to what truly matters: how we live our lives and how we treat others. Another critical aspect of Stoic thought is that life is full of uncertainty. You could lose your wealth at any moment through circumstances beyond your control. Economic downturns, unexpected medical bills, or natural disasters. If your happiness is tied to your financial status, these events can be devastating. However, if your happiness is rooted in your character and your ability to handle life's challenges with wisdom and courage, no external event can take that away from you. This is why the Stoics emphasize the importance of building inner wealth rather than relying on external riches. Think about someone you know, or maybe someone you've heard of, who seems to have everything, money, status and success, but is still deeply unhappy. Despite having all the material possessions they could want, they may still feel unfulfilled, anxious, or constantly searching for more. This is because external wealth can never fill an internal void. True happiness comes from within, from cultivating a strong sense of purpose, meaningful relationships, and a commitment to personal growth. On the other hand, think of someone who may not have much in terms of material wealth, but leads a rich and fulfilling life. This person is likely focused on what truly matters, living with integrity, treating others with kindness, and finding joy in the simple things. They understand that happiness isn't about accumulating wealth. It's about how you spend your time, how you connect with others, and how you contribute to the world. The Stoics would advise us to practice gratitude as a way to counter the desire for more. By taking time each day to reflect on the things we already have, our health, our loved ones, the simple pleasures in life, we can cultivate a sense of contentment. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're less likely to feel dissatisfied with what you don't have. Additionally, Stoicism encourages us to redefine what success means. Instead of measuring success by financial wealth or social status, we should measure it by how well we live in accordance with our values. Are we kind to others? Are we growing as individuals? Are we making decisions that align with our principles? These are the markers of true success, and they are available to everyone, regardless of their financial situation. In conclusion, stop associating wealth with happiness. While money can provide comfort and security, it's not the source of lasting fulfillment. The Stoics teach us that happiness comes from living in alignment with our values, focusing on personal growth, and appreciating what we already have. By shifting your mindset from craving more wealth to cultivating virtue, you'll find that true happiness is not something you need to chase. It's something you can experience right now. Second, stop blaming others. One of the most freeing and empowering concepts in Stoic philosophy is the idea of taking full responsibility for your life. It's easy to fall into the habit of blaming others, whether it's the economy, your upbringing, or even bad luck. While external factors can certainly make life more difficult, blaming others keeps you stuck in a victim mindset. Stoicism teaches that we must focus on what we can control and stop wasting energy on things we can't. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This quote encapsulates the core of Stoic thought. While you may not be able to control the things that happen to you, you have complete control over how you react. And your reactions, your mindset, your decisions are what ultimately shape your life. Blaming others for your problems might feel easier in the moment, but it prevents growth and keeps you stuck. Think about how often we hear phrases like, "It's not my fault," or "If only I had more support," or "The system is rigged against me." While these statements may contain some truth, focusing on them doesn't improve your situation. Instead, the Stoics encourage us to take a hard look at what we can control: our actions, our attitudes, and our efforts. Imagine you're in a difficult financial situation, perhaps struggling with debt or not earning as much as you'd like. It's easy to blame external factors, the economy, your boss, or the cost of living. But here's the thing, while those factors may contribute to your situation, blaming them won't change anything. In fact, it might make things worse because it leads to a sense of helplessness. When you blame others, you give up your agency, the power to make changes and take action. Stoicism teaches us to reclaim that agency by focusing on what we can do right now to improve our situation. For example, if you feel stuck in a low-paying job, blaming the job market or your employer won't increase your income. Instead, the Stoic approach would be to ask yourself, what can I do to improve my skills? How can I increase my value in the job market? What steps can I take to create new opportunities? This shift in perspective, focusing on what you can control, empowers you to take action, whether that means learning new skills, networking, or even exploring new career paths. By focusing on personal responsibility, you shift from a victim mindset to one of empowerment. Instead of waiting for external factors to change, you realize that you are the author of your own life. While you can't control every situation, you can control how you react, how you adapt, and how you move forward. Let's consider another example: debt. It's easy to blame high interest rates, unexpected expenses, or even the financial system for being in debt. While these factors may contribute, blaming them won't reduce your debt or improve your financial health. Instead, the Stoics would encourage you to take full responsibility for your financial decisions. Ask yourself, how did I get here, and what can I do to change it? Maybe it's time to create a strict budget, cut unnecessary expenses, or seek professional financial advice. By taking responsibility, you take control of the situation, which is the first step toward improving it. The Stoics also teach us that taking responsibility doesn't mean ignoring external challenges. It's important to acknowledge the difficulties you face, whether they come from the economy, your background, or other external forces. However, instead of dwelling on these challenges, Stoicism asks us to focus on what we can do to overcome them. This doesn't mean pretending that everything is within your control, but rather recognizing that your reactions and actions are always within your control. Think of personal responsibility as a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Every time you face a setback or a challenge and choose to respond with action instead of blame, you're building that muscle. Over time, you'll find that you become more resilient, more adaptable, and more capable of navigating life's difficulties. In conclusion, stop blaming others for your financial situation or your challenges in life. While external circumstances can certainly make things difficult, the Stoics teach us that our power lies in how we respond. By taking full responsibility for your actions and focusing on what you can control, you regain your agency and empower yourself to make positive changes. Third stop: living to please others. One of the biggest financial and emotional traps people fall into is the habit of living to please others. Whether it's buying things to impress friends, keeping up with trends, or making life decisions based on what others expect, this habit can be costly. Not just financially, but mentally and emotionally as well. The Stoics remind us that true happiness and fulfillment come from living in alignment with our values, not someone else's. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This quote captures the essence of what it means to live authentically. Too often, we waste time worrying about what others think of us, and we let that influence our choices. But the truth is, when we live to please others, we sacrifice our own well-being, goals, and financial health. Instead of following our own path, we get stuck in a cycle of spending money and time trying to maintain an image or lifestyle that's not truly ours. Let's say, for example, you decide to buy a new car, not because you need it, but because you feel pressure to keep up with your peers or impress your social circle. For a while, you might enjoy the attention and admiration that comes with the purchase, but over time, the financial burden of maintaining that car, whether it's monthly payments, insurance, or upkeep, starts to weigh you down. You realize that you've made a decision based on someone else's expectations, not your own needs or values. This is a classic example of living for others rather than for yourself. Stoicism encourages us to focus on internal validation rather than seeking approval from others. When you stop living to please others, you free yourself from the pressure to keep up with appearances. This shift in mindset allows you to make financial decisions based on your own values and goals. Instead of buying things you don't need to impress people, you'll start investing in what truly matters, whether that's saving for the future, investing in personal growth, or spending time on experiences that bring you joy. Living to please others often leads to financial stress because it pushes us to spend money on things that don't align with our true priorities. Whether it's buying the latest fashion, upgrading to a bigger house, or spending money on lavish vacations, these choices can lead to debt and financial insecurity if they aren't in line with your own values. The Stoics remind us that true wealth comes from living simply and in harmony with our own needs, not from accumulating possessions to impress others. Think about it. How often have you made a purchase, gone on a trip, or even pursued a career path because you felt it was what others expected of you? Maybe it was your family, friends, or society telling you that success looks a certain way, and you felt the need to follow that script. But what happens when you follow that path and realize it doesn't make you happy? You end up feeling unfulfilled, stressed, and trapped in a life that doesn't reflect your true desires. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and that includes our choices and values. You can't control what others think of you, and trying to live up to their expectations will only lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. Instead, focus on living authentically. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What kind of life do I want to live? When you make decisions based on your own values, you'll find that you're not only more financially stable, but also more at peace with yourself. Another important lesson from the Stoics is the idea of moderation. In a world that often encourages excess, whether it's in spending, working, or socializing, Stoicism reminds us that happiness comes from balance. You don't need to live an extravagant lifestyle to be happy. In fact, some of the most content people live simple lives focused on the things that truly matter, like relationships, personal growth, and health. When you stop trying to please others, you free up mental and financial resources to focus on these important areas. Let's consider a real-world example. Imagine someone who has a high-paying job, but only took it because it's what their family or society expected of them. They might have the money and status, but deep down, they feel unfulfilled. They spend their earnings on things they don't really want or need, just to keep up appearances. Over time, this leads to stress, financial strain, and a lack of personal satisfaction. On the other hand, imagine someone who chooses a career they love, even if it's not as prestigious or well-paid. They may earn less, but they're happier because they're living according to their own values, not someone else's. In conclusion, stop living to please others. Financial freedom and personal fulfillment come from making choices that align with your values, not from trying to meet the expectations of others. When you stop seeking approval from the outside world, you'll find that you make better financial decisions, experience less stress, and live a more authentic life. As the Stoics teach, true wealth isn't about what you have, it's about how you live. Fourth stop. Avoiding risks. One of the most limiting habits we develop in life, both financially and personally, is the fear of taking risks. It's natural to want to stay in our comfort zone, where everything feels safe and familiar. However, Stoicism teaches us that personal growth and success come from stepping out of that comfort zone and facing challenges head-on. Avoiding risks can lead to stagnation, financially, emotionally, and mentally. Seneca reminds us that it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that things are difficult. This quote highlights the idea that our own fear of risk often makes challenges seem more daunting than they truly are. The more we avoid difficult situations or risky decisions, the more we allow fear to control our lives. But the Stoics encourage us to embrace challenges with courage and wisdom. Let's consider a financial example. Suppose you've been stuck in the same job for years, unhappy with your salary and lack of growth opportunities. You may be hesitant to look for a new job or start your own business because you're afraid of the uncertainty that comes with change. Maybe you're worried about failing or not being able to secure something better. However, staying in your current situation out of fear of taking a risk only guarantees that you'll remain stuck. The Stoic approach would be to acknowledge your fear, but not let it dictate your actions. Instead of avoiding the risk, break it down into manageable steps. You might start by updating your resume, networking, or researching potential opportunities. Taking these smaller steps can build your confidence and reduce the overwhelming feeling that comes with making a big life change. Epictetus taught that he who is not prepared to suffer what he does not wish will not succeed in anything. This idea is central to Stoic philosophy. Growth and success often come with discomfort. Whether it's facing failure, rejection, or uncertainty, these are all part of the process of achieving something meaningful. By avoiding risks, you also avoid the possibility of achieving great things. The key is to take calculated risks, ones that align with your values and goals, while accepting that discomfort is a natural part of the journey. Avoiding financial risks can also limit your long-term growth. For example, if you're afraid to invest because you fear losing money, you might miss out on the potential for long-term financial gains. The Stoic perspective encourages us to recognize that while we can't control every outcome, we can control our preparation and mindset. If you approach risk with wisdom, by educating yourself, planning carefully, and preparing for possible setbacks, you increase your chances of success. The Stoics also teach us about the concept of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This practice involves imagining the worst-case scenarios that could happen if we take a risk. By mentally preparing ourselves for these challenges, we reduce their emotional impact when they actually occur. This allows us to face risks with a clear and rational mind, rather than being paralyzed by fear. Let's say you're considering starting your own business, but you're afraid of failure. Instead of letting that fear stop you, use premeditatio malorum to envision the possible setbacks you might face. Perhaps you won't make a profit in the first year, or you might struggle to find clients. Once you've identified these risks, you can develop strategies to mitigate them, such as setting aside savings or building a strong marketing plan. This Stoic approach doesn't eliminate risk, but it helps you face it with confidence and preparedness. Another key Stoic principle is focusing on what's within your control. You can't control every outcome, but you can control your effort, your preparation, and your response to challenges. By taking risks in a thoughtful and strategic way, you're not recklessly jumping into the unknown. You're making informed decisions that align with your long-term goals. This shift in mindset can transform how you approach risk, making it feel less overwhelming and more like an opportunity for growth. Avoiding risks in your personal life can also hinder your relationships and emotional well-being. Whether it's taking a chance on a new friendship, pursuing a romantic relationship, or expressing your true feelings, avoiding emotional risks can lead to loneliness and unfulfilled potential. The Stoics encourage us to embrace vulnerability and take emotional risks, understanding that discomfort and uncertainty are part of forming deep and meaningful connections. In conclusion, stop avoiding risks. Personal growth, financial success, and emotional fulfillment all require stepping outside of your comfort zone and embracing challenges with courage. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that while risks come with the potential for failure, they also come with the potential for great rewards. By approaching risk with preparation, wisdom, and a focus on what's within your control, you can face challenges with confidence and turn them into opportunities for growth. 5. Stop ignoring your finances. One of the most common yet damaging habits is to avoid managing your finances altogether. Whether it's because of anxiety, lack of knowledge, or simply not wanting to face the reality of your financial situation, ignoring your finances can lead to long-term consequences that only make things worse. Stoic philosophy teaches us to take responsibility for all aspects of our lives, and that includes our financial well-being. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This quote highlights that wealth is less about how much you earn or own, and more about how well you manage what you have. Ignoring your finances often leads to unnecessary spending, debt, and stress. In contrast, when you take control of your financial situation, even modest earnings can go a long way in building a stable and fulfilling life. Consider the habit of avoiding looking at your bank account or credit card statements because you're afraid of what you'll see. Many people do this. They know they're spending too much but are reluctant to face the numbers. The problem is that by ignoring the issue, it only grows worse. Late fees, mounting debt, and financial stress become harder to tackle the longer they go unaddressed. The Stoic approach encourages us to confront our challenges head-on, even if they're uncomfortable, because this is the only way to resolve them and move forward. One practical way to embrace a Stoic approach to managing finances is through mindful spending. The Stoics valued self-discipline and moderation, and these principles can be applied directly to how we handle money. Instead of spending impulsively on things that don't align with your values or long-term goals, Stoicism encourages us to reflect on whether each purchase serves a purpose. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Does it bring me closer to my financial goals, or is it just a fleeting desire? By developing this level of self-discipline, you not only save money, but also cultivate a sense of control and peace over your financial life. The more intentional you are with your spending, the less likely you are to fall into debt or financial stress. This doesn't mean depriving yourself of all pleasures. It's about being mindful and deliberate about where your money goes. Seneca also taught the importance of preparing for financial setbacks, recognizing that life is unpredictable. By managing your finances responsibly and building an emergency fund, you create a buffer for yourself in case of unexpected expenses. Stoics encourage us to expect that things won't always go as planned and to prepare accordingly. This mindset, known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, helps you approach financial planning with wisdom and foresight. Ignoring your finances can also lead to missed opportunities for growth. For example, if you avoid learning about investing or budgeting, you might miss out on chances to build wealth over time. The Stoic principle of continuous improvement, or ascesis, encourages us to learn and grow in all areas of life, including financial literacy. Taking the time to educate yourself about managing money, whether it's learning how to budget, invest, or save, can lead to long-term benefits that contribute to your overall sense of security and freedom. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine someone who earns a decent income but consistently avoids managing their finances. They spend without keeping track of where their money goes, often putting purchases on credit cards without thinking about the long-term consequences. Over time, they accumulate debt, and their financial situation becomes more stressful and harder to manage. Eventually, they may reach a point where they're overwhelmed by their financial obligations, unsure of how to dig themselves out of debt. Contrast that with someone who takes a proactive, stoic approach to their finances. Even if they earn a modest income, they carefully track their spending, create a budget, and live within their means. They prioritize saving and building an emergency fund, and they seek out opportunities to learn about investing and growing their wealth. This person isn't living in fear of their financial situation, they're in control of it. They have peace of mind because they know exactly where their money is going and how it's working for them. One of the biggest hurdles in taking control of your finances is overcoming fear. Many people avoid managing their money because they're afraid of what they'll discover. Maybe they're afraid of realizing they've been living beyond their means, or they don't know where to start. Stoicism teaches us to face our fears with courage and rationality. The longer you avoid your finances, the more power you give to your fears. But by taking small, manageable steps toward understanding and managing your money, you can regain control. In conclusion, stop ignoring your finances. Financial management is a key aspect of living a well-rounded and responsible life, according to Stoic philosophy. By taking control of your finances through mindful spending, preparing for setbacks, and continuously educating yourself, you can build a more secure and fulfilling future. Remember, your financial situation doesn't improve by avoiding it. It improves by confronting it with discipline, responsibility, and a stoic mindset. 6. Stop neglecting personal development. One of the most dangerous habits, especially in today's fast-paced world, is neglecting personal growth and development. Many of us get caught up in the daily grind, working to pay bills, handling responsibilities, and chasing external achievements, while completely overlooking the importance of continuous self-improvement. Stoicism teaches that personal growth is the foundation of a meaningful and fulfilling life, and without it, we risk stagnation, both mentally and emotionally. Epictetus emphasized the importance of self-improvement, saying, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This quote speaks to the idea that personal growth requires us to step outside our comfort zones, even if it means making mistakes or feeling uncomfortable. The pursuit of self-development isn't always easy or glamorous, but it's essential for living a life of virtue and wisdom. When we neglect personal development, we limit our potential in all areas of life, whether it's our relationships, career, or financial situation. Imagine someone who spends all their time working to earn money, but never takes the time to improve their skills, expand their knowledge, or develop new habits. They may find themselves stuck in the same place, year after year, with little progress to show for their efforts. This kind of stagnation can lead to frustration, dissatisfaction, and even burnout. On the other hand, the Stoics believed that constant growth and self-reflection are necessary for leading a meaningful life. By dedicating time to personal development, Whether it's through reading, learning new skills, or practicing self-discipline, you can continually improve and expand your capabilities. This growth doesn't just benefit you, it also positively impacts the people around you and the world at large. One key aspect of Stoic philosophy is the idea of self-discipline, which is directly related to personal development. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In other words, true freedom comes from the ability to control your own actions, desires, and impulses. Personal development is about cultivating this kind of mastery over your emotions, your thoughts, and your behaviors, so that you can live with greater intention and purpose. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine someone who neglects their personal growth by constantly putting off learning new skills or improving their knowledge. They may tell themselves they're too busy or that they'll get to it someday. Over time, this neglect leads to a lack of advancement in their career, personal life, and financial situation. They feel stuck because they haven't taken the steps necessary to grow and evolve. Now, imagine someone who makes personal development a priority. They carve out time each day or week to focus on learning, whether through reading, attending workshops, or practicing new skills. They're committed to continuous improvement, and as a result, they experience growth in all areas of life. They advance in their career, build stronger relationships, and feel a deeper sense of fulfillment because they're constantly working to become a better version of themselves. The Stoics also believed in the importance of reflection as part of personal development. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on his actions and thoughts, analyzing where he could improve. This kind of self-reflection is critical for growth. By regularly assessing your progress, identifying areas where you've fallen short, and making adjustments, you ensure that you're always moving forward. Neglecting personal development isn't just about missing out on opportunities for growth. It can also lead to negative consequences. Without continuous self-improvement, we risk becoming complacent, falling into bad habits, or losing sight of our goals. The Stoics remind us that life is short, and we shouldn't waste it by remaining stagnant. Instead, we should strive to make the most of every moment by actively working on becoming better, whether that's emotionally, intellectually, or spiritually. In a financial context, personal development can have a direct impact on your earning potential and financial success. By continuously improving your skills and knowledge, you position yourself to take advantage of new opportunities, whether it's advancing in your career, starting a business, or making smarter investment decisions. Neglecting this aspect of your life can lead to missed opportunities and a lack of progress. For example, if you're in a profession that's rapidly evolving, such as technology or finance, failing to keep up with new developments and trends can leave you behind. On the other hand, someone who actively seeks out learning opportunities and stays updated on industry changes will be better positioned to thrive in their career and increase their earning potential. In conclusion, stop neglecting personal development. Continuous growth is essential for living a fulfilling and successful life, both financially and personally. The Stoics teach us that self-discipline, reflection, and constant improvement are the keys to unlocking our potential and achieving a life of virtue. Don't fall into the trap of complacency. Commit to becoming the best version of yourself, and you'll find that your efforts pay off in every aspect of your life. 7. Stop spending. Beyond your means, one of the most common financial pitfalls people fall into is spending more than they earn. It's a habit that can lead to stress, debt, and financial insecurity, often without the person even realizing how deep the problem has become. Stoicism teaches us to live with simplicity and self-control, emphasizing that happiness doesn't come from external possessions, but from living a life aligned with virtue and reason. In this sense, controlling your spending and living within your means is a direct application of Stoic wisdom. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This quote gets to the heart of the problem with overspending. It's not necessarily about how much money you make. It's about how much you desire and how well you manage your resources. Many people, even those with high incomes, find themselves in financial trouble because they spend recklessly, constantly chasing the next big purchase, the newest gadget, or a lifestyle that stretches beyond their financial capabilities. Imagine someone who consistently overspends on things they don't truly need: expensive clothes, luxury vacations, or a bigger home than they can comfortably afford. On the surface, it may seem like they're living well, enjoying the fruits of their labor. But beneath that exterior, they may be struggling with credit card debt, high-interest loans, and the stress that comes from living paycheck to paycheck. This is the hidden burden of living beyond your means, and it can trap even the most financially successful individuals in a cycle of stress and anxiety. The Stoic approach to money is rooted in self-discipline and a focus on what truly matters. Epictetus taught that we should distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. While the desire for material possessions may be influenced by external factors, advertising, social pressure, or societal expectations, our decision to live simply and spend wisely is fully within our control. The more we exercise discipline over our spending, the more freedom we gain in our financial life. Let's look at an example of someone who lives within their means. They may not have the latest car or designer clothes, but they have financial peace of mind. They don't spend impulsively, and they carefully budget their income to ensure that their expenses never exceed what they earn. This person isn't weighed down by debt or financial stress, allowing them to focus on other important aspects of life, like personal growth, relationships, and enjoying meaningful experiences. The Stoic concept of moderation plays a key role in this approach. Living within your means doesn't mean depriving yourself of all pleasures or never spending money on things you enjoy. Instead, it's about finding balance. Are your purchases aligned with your values? Do they bring you lasting fulfillment, or are they driven by fleeting desires? By practicing moderation, you can enjoy the things that truly matter without falling into the trap of overspending. One of the biggest dangers of spending beyond your means is the impact it has on your long-term financial health. When you rely on credit cards or loans to finance a lifestyle that exceeds your income, you're essentially borrowing against your future. The interest on debt compounds over time, making it harder to pay off, and the financial stress can have ripple effects on your mental and emotional well-being. Consider how much more secure and peaceful your life could be if you lived within your means. You wouldn't be constantly worried about bills or debt collectors. Instead, you'd have the freedom to save for the future, invest in your goals, and handle unexpected expenses without fear. This kind of financial freedom doesn't come from making more money. It comes from making wiser decisions with the money you already have. Another important aspect of the Stoic mindset is the practice of gratitude. By focusing on what you already have and appreciating the simple pleasures in life, you reduce the urge to spend money on unnecessary things. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the value of simplicity and finding joy in what's essential. When you adopt this perspective, you begin to see that happiness doesn't come from having more. It comes from valuing what you already have. Think about your current financial habits. Are there areas where you're overspending? Are there purchases you regret or expenses you could cut back on? By applying Stoic principles, you can start to make more conscious decisions about where your money goes. It's not about living a life of deprivation. It's about living a life of intention, where your spending aligns with your values and long-term goals. In conclusion, stop spending beyond your means. Financial stability and peace of mind come from living within your financial limits, not from constantly chasing more. The Stoics teach us that true happiness and fulfillment come from self-discipline, moderation, and gratitude, not from material wealth. By taking control of your spending and aligning it with your values, you can free yourself from the stress of debt and live a more secure and meaningful life. 8. Stop resisting change. Change is an inevitable part of life, yet many of us spend an incredible amount of energy resisting it, whether it's due to fear, uncertainty, or comfort in routine. Resisting change often leads to missed opportunities, stagnation, and frustration. Stoicism teaches us to embrace change, recognizing that life is in constant flux and that resisting it only causes unnecessary suffering. Instead of fearing change, the Stoics encourage us to see it as an opportunity for growth and adaptation. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change." This quote encapsulates the Stoic view that change is not only natural, but essential for the functioning of the universe. Everything, from the seasons to our own lives, is in a state of flux, and by resisting this, we set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. Let's take a financial example. Perhaps you've been in the same job for years, but you're unhappy and unfulfilled. You know deep down that it's time to move on, whether that means finding a new job, starting a business, or pursuing a different career path. But the fear of the unknown or the comfort of your current routine keeps you stuck in place. You resist change because it feels safer to stay where you are, even if it's not where you want to be. The Stoics would advise you to reframe your perspective on change. Instead of seeing it as a threat, view it as a chance to grow and evolve. Every change, no matter how challenging, brings with it new opportunities and possibilities. By embracing change, you open yourself up to new experiences, skills, and ways of thinking that can enrich your life and propel you toward your goals. One of the reasons people resist change is because they focus too much on what they're losing and not enough on what they stand to gain. When you fixate on the comfort of the familiar, it's easy to overlook the potential benefits of change, whether that's a better job, improved relationships, or personal growth. Seneca reminds us that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. This quote speaks to the idea that with every change, there's an opportunity to start something new, something that could be better than what came before. Financially, resisting change can have serious consequences. For example, if you're afraid to invest in new opportunities or adapt to changing market conditions, you might miss out on potential gains or fail to protect your wealth. Similarly, if you refuse to update your skills or learn new ones, you may find yourself falling behind in an ever-evolving job market. The Stoics teach us to approach these changes with wisdom and preparation, understanding that while change is inevitable, how we respond to it is entirely within our control. One Stoic practice that can help you embrace change is premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves imagining the potential challenges or setbacks that could arise from a change and preparing yourself mentally and emotionally to face them. By considering the worst-case scenarios, you reduce the fear and anxiety that often accompany change, and you're better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Let's say you're considering moving to a new city for a job opportunity. The idea of leaving behind your current life might be overwhelming, and you're worried about whether the move will be worth it. By practicing premeditatio malorum, you could imagine the difficulties you might face, adjusting to a new environment, finding new friends, or dealing with the challenges of relocation. Once you've mentally prepared for these possibilities, they seem less daunting, and you can approach the change with greater confidence and clarity. The Stoics also remind us to focus on what's within our control. While we can't always control the changes that happen around us, we can control how we respond to them. This is where our power lies, not in preventing change, but in adapting to it with grace and wisdom. By cultivating a mindset of flexibility and openness, you can navigate life's changes more effectively and use them to your advantage. Another important aspect of embracing change is recognizing that growth comes from discomfort. Whether it's starting a new job, ending a relationship, or moving to a new city, change often brings discomfort because it pushes us out of our familiar routines. But it's in these moments of discomfort that we grow the most. Epictetus taught that difficulties are what show men's character. When we face challenges head-on and adapt to new circumstances, we become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. In a broader sense, resisting change can also limit your ability to experience life fully. By clinging to what's familiar, you close yourself off from new experiences, perspectives, and opportunities that could enrich your life. The Stoics encourage us to live fully in the present moment, embracing the changes that come our way as part of the natural flow of life. When you stop resisting change and start embracing it, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities that you may have never considered. In conclusion, stop resisting change. Change is a natural and inevitable part of life, and the more we resist it, the more we suffer. The Stoics teach us that by embracing change with courage, wisdom, and openness, we can turn challenges into opportunities for growth and transformation. Instead of fearing the unknown, approach change as a chance to evolve, adapt, and become the best version of yourself. 9. Stop comparing yourself to others. One of the most harmful habits that can damage both your financial well-being and emotional health is the constant comparison to others. Whether it's seeing friends who seem to have more, colleagues with better jobs, or even strangers on social media flaunting luxurious lifestyles, comparing yourself to others is a surefire way to feel inadequate and unhappy. Stoicism teaches us that true contentment comes from focusing on our own lives and our own values, not from measuring ourselves against others. Epictetus emphasized this idea by saying, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This Stoic principle reminds us that living well is about following our own path and staying true to our own beliefs, regardless of what others are doing. When you compare yourself to others, you lose sight of your own journey and start chasing goals that may not even align with your values. You become distracted by external measures of success, rather than focusing on your personal growth and fulfillment. Let's consider an example. Imagine you're working hard in your career, but every time you log onto social media, you see someone else landing a promotion, buying a new home, or taking an expensive vacation. It's easy to start feeling like you're falling behind or that you're not as successful as your peers. But this kind of comparison only breeds dissatisfaction. You don't know the full story behind someone else's life. Maybe they're struggling in ways that aren't visible, or maybe they've made different sacrifices that you wouldn't want to make. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what's within our control, our actions, our decisions, and our mindset. When you compare yourself to others, you're focusing on things that are outside your control. You can't control what someone else achieves or how they live their life. You can only control how you respond to your own circumstances. By redirecting your energy toward improving yourself, rather than competing with others, you'll find a greater sense of peace and satisfaction. Another important aspect of Stoicism is the idea of indifference to external outcomes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote highlights the Stoic belief that true happiness doesn't come from external achievements, but from mastering your own mind and emotions. When you let go of the need to compare yourself to others, you free yourself from the constant cycle of striving for external validation. Instead, you can focus on living according to your values, which brings a deeper sense of fulfillment. Comparing yourself to others financially can also lead to poor decisions. Many people fall into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses, spending money on things they don't need just to appear as successful as those around them. This could mean buying a bigger house, driving a more expensive car, or going on luxury vacations, all for the sake of maintaining an image. But these choices often lead to debt and financial strain, as people stretch beyond their means to match the lifestyles they see others living. The Stoics teach us that simplicity is the key to happiness. Seneca warned against the dangers of luxury, saying, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." When you compare yourself to others, you're more likely to crave things that don't truly matter: material possessions, status, or external success. But these things can never bring lasting happiness. True contentment comes from appreciating what you already have and living in alignment with your own values. Let's imagine someone who's constantly comparing their financial situation to others. They might feel pressure to upgrade their lifestyle, even if it means going into debt or sacrificing their long-term financial goals. They might buy a new car, even though their current one works just fine, or take on a bigger mortgage just to keep up with friends who live in a larger home. Over time, this need to compare and compete leads to financial stress, regret, and a feeling of never being good enough. Now contrast that with someone who follows a more stoic approach. This person isn't concerned with what others are doing. They're focused on their own financial goals and personal values. They live within their means, save for the future, and make decisions based on what's important to them, not on external appearances. As a result, they experience less financial stress, more freedom, and a greater sense of satisfaction with their life. Stoicism also teaches us the value of gratitude. By focusing on what you already have, rather than what you lack, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of appreciating the present moment and being content with what life has given you. When you stop comparing yourself to others and start practicing gratitude, you'll find that you already have enough, and that true wealth comes from inner peace, not material possessions. In conclusion, stop comparing yourself to others. The Stoics remind us that happiness doesn't come from external achievements or living up to someone else's standards. It comes from focusing on your own path, living according to your values, and finding contentment in the life you're building for yourself. By letting go of comparison and embracing gratitude, you can free yourself from the constant pressure to compete and find true fulfillment in your own journey. 10. Stop neglecting your health. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to neglect one of the most important aspects of your well-being, your health. Whether it's due to the demands of work, family responsibilities, or the temptation of convenience, many people push their physical and mental health to the back burner, focusing instead on external achievements like career success or financial gain. However, Stoicism teaches us that without good health, we cannot fully enjoy or make use of any other achievements in life. Epictetus once said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This advice can easily be applied to our health. If you want to be healthy, you need to prioritize it and take consistent action. Neglecting your health, whether it's through poor diet, lack of exercise, or ignoring mental health, ultimately makes it harder to achieve anything else. You can't pursue your financial goals, personal growth, or even enjoy your relationships fully if you're not feeling well physically or mentally. Let's take a practical example. Imagine someone who is constantly working long hours, skipping meals, and neglecting sleep because they're focused on advancing their career. In the short term, this person might seem successful. They're getting ahead at work, earning more money, and receiving praise for their dedication. But over time, the stress and lack of self-care begin to take a toll. They may develop health problems, experience burnout, or struggle with chronic fatigue. Eventually, they're forced to slow down or even stop working altogether because their body can't keep up with the demands they've placed on it. The Stoics understood that balance is essential to a good life, and that includes balancing work with rest and ambition with self-care. Seneca wrote, "We must take care of our bodies. It is difficult for the mind to remain brave and resolute when it is sickly and weak." This quote highlights the Stoic belief that a strong, healthy body supports a strong, healthy mind. When you take care of your physical health, you're better equipped to handle life's challenges with resilience and clarity. In addition to physical health, mental health is equally important. In today's fast-paced world, many people suffer from stress, anxiety, and burnout because they neglect their mental well-being. Stoicism offers practical tools for maintaining mental health, such as practicing mindfulness, engaging in self-reflection, and focusing on what's within your control. By taking time to care for your mental health, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply slowing down, you can reduce stress and improve your overall sense of well-being. One key Stoic concept that applies to health is moderation. The Stoics were big advocates of balance in all things, and that includes how we take care of our bodies. You don't need to follow extreme diets or intense workout routines to be healthy. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to find a sustainable, moderate approach to self-care. This might mean making small, consistent improvements to your diet, taking regular walks, or finding simple ways to incorporate relaxation into your daily routine. Another important aspect of Stoic philosophy is the idea of focusing on what you can control. You may not always be able to avoid illness or injury, but you can control how you respond to health challenges and what steps you take to maintain your well-being. For example, you can't control aging, but you can choose to age with grace by staying active, eating well, and continuing to engage your mind with new challenges and learning opportunities. Let's think about how neglecting health affects financial success. Someone who works relentlessly without taking care of their health may achieve short-term financial gains, but in the long run, their productivity will suffer if their health declines. Medical bills can quickly pile up, or they may find themselves unable to work at all if they face serious health issues. On the other hand, someone who prioritizes their health is more likely to maintain consistent energy levels, focus, and resilience, leading to greater success over time. One practical way to prioritize health is by adopting Stoic practices like premeditatio malorum, the practice of imagining worst-case scenarios. This Stoic exercise helps you prepare for challenges, including health-related ones, by considering what might happen if you continue to neglect your well-being. For example, what would happen if you continue to ignore that nagging pain or avoid regular exercise? By visualizing the potential consequences of neglecting your health, you can motivate yourself to take preventive action before it's too late. Another tool from Stoicism is daily reflection. At the end of each day, reflect on whether you've taken steps to care for your body and mind. Did you eat nourishing food? Did you take time to rest? Did you manage your stress levels? By incorporating this daily reflection, you can stay mindful of your health and make adjustments as needed, ensuring that it remains a priority. In conclusion, stop neglecting your health. Good health is the foundation for everything else in life, and without it, you can't fully enjoy your success or make the most of your opportunities. The Stoics teach us that caring for our bodies and minds is essential to living a balanced, fulfilling life. By practicing moderation, focusing on what you can control, and taking consistent action to maintain your well-being, you'll set yourself up for long-term success, both physically and mentally. As we wrap up this episode, it's clear that financial success and personal fulfillment don't come from chasing wealth or living up to external expectations. Instead, true success is about developing habits that align with Stoic principles, habits that foster self-discipline, personal growth, and a deep sense of contentment. By stopping the habits we've discussed today, like associating wealth with happiness, blaming others, avoiding risks, and neglecting your health, you can take control of your life and set yourself on a path toward true freedom, both financially and personally. The Stoics remind us that life is unpredictable and often beyond our control. What we can control is our response to the challenges we face, and that's where our true power lies. By applying the lessons of Stoicism, focusing on personal responsibility, embracing change, and living within our means, we can create a life that's not only financially secure, but also deeply meaningful and fulfilling. Remember, the journey to financial and personal freedom is not about perfection, it's about progress. Every small step you take, whether it's cutting back on unnecessary expenses, investing in your personal growth, or taking better care of your health, brings you closer to a life of balance, peace, and true success. If you found value in this episode, please consider giving it a like and sharing it with your friends and family. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more episodes on how Stoic philosophy can help you lead a better life. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.